beginning of our journey together, and this is foundation training. So what I want you to do is start to really get proficient in decompressing the body, using the movements that we're going to do today, as well as constantly using and understanding that your breath is massively important when it comes to alignment, function, and ultimately performance. So we're going to start with some just standing decompression breathing. And you can see I have a mat here, and the first thing we're going to learn is the position of your feet. So let's square up the outside of your feet so that this line and this line right here are parallel. The tighter you are on the outside of your hip, the weirder this is going to feel. It's going to feel like you're like that, even though you're not. Okay? So square up the outside of the feet. See if you can spread your toes. Good. Just know that your feet are also telling us a story about the position of your hips. Okay, keeping the shoulders low, tucking 3 fingers under. I want you to put your pinkies on your ribs, or pinkies on your hip bones, thumb on your bottom rib. We're just going to work decompression breathing, elevating and expanding the rib cage, making your back as wide as you can, chin down. Fill your rib cage. Keep breathing. Pretend that I have my hands around your rib cage. And I want your hands, my hands, to be expanding laterally. Let's go 2 more of those. And just shake that out. The next thing I want to just make sure, and we're going to do 5 more decompression breaths. We set up the feet. Make sure the outside are nice and squared in. We're going to use measuring sticks. Pinkies on your hip bones, thumbs on your bottom rib. Float your elbows to the side. Break your hips to the back, just about an inch. Okay, so we're just an inch back. From right there, as you breathe, the measuring sticks are there for a purpose. I want you to knit your belly together so that as you exhale, you don't collapse. You just constantly say massive in your chest, big with your rib cage. So right there, we're going to go 3 big breaths. Hips to the back, ever so slightly. Shoulders are low. And 1 more, big breath. And just rest. Shake that out. Okay, taking it to the ground. From this position, we're going knees together, toes together, heels apart. Okay, get that mat underneath me. If you have a mat, great. If you don't, that's fine. You're going to be fine as long as you're not on too soft of a surface. Okay, so knees are together, toes are together. Don't flex your feet. I want your feet, or don't extend your feet. Let's keep your feet nice and strong position. Knees nice and tight. From right here, you're laying flat. Create space between your ribs and your hips. Use your measuring sticks. Thumbs on your bottom rib. Float your elbows to the side. We're doing exactly the same thing as we did standing. Fill the ribs. Float your hands to the sky. Put all 10 fingers touching. We call that our sphere of tension. Squeeze your knees nice and strong. See if you can match that tension with your fingertips. And let's go 5 big breaths. Keep knitting your belly. Don't let your rib cage fall. On your next exhale, we're going to float the hands over your head. Don't let your hands go to the ground. Keep them about 5 inches off the ground at the height of your forehead. See if you can reach your shoulders even further. Create more space. Pull your feet towards you, squeeze your knees. Bring your hands back to your heart. Squeeze your knees, squeeze your fingertips, match the tension. And good. All right, from there, drag your heels 2 inches closer so that your knees come a little higher off the ground. From right there, We're gonna wrap your right knee across your left. And I want it as tight as you can get it. From there, you're gonna pull your hips over to the right. Your left arm is going to drag up the side of your body into your armpit and then reach up over your head. The top leg, the right leg, is now pulling in traction on your left hip, and that should feel really good to you. Nice big pull. And let's work our breath. 2 more big breaths. Reach your hand, reach through your fingertips. And 1 more big breath. Come back to the middle. And we're just going to switch sides. So your left leg is across your right. Keep it nice and tight. There's no air that can get between those legs. Pull it across to the left. Left leg across right. Pulls it back to the left. Right arm traces up the side of the body, into the armpit, and over the head. And now the left leg is pulling the right hip into traction. And it should just feel beautiful and just open through your belly, through your rib cage. Give me 3 big breaths here. And bring that back across. Good. So that was supine, face up, decompression breathing. And the next one was a crossover. Okay, so next one, if you need a little extra under your knee, definitely take a moment and do that. I'm okay here. So now we're in a half kneeling position. And if I was looking at you straight on, we're at hip width. Okay, so we're not out too wide. From there, we're going to work the same decompression breath. Shoulders are low, head is tall, chin back, chest up. Fill the rib cage 360 degrees. From there, you're going to drive your hips to the back. So the right leg is in front, the left hand is now going to reach forward, and you're going to feel your right high hamstring and just come straight back out of that. So it's that same position. Drive the hips back, reach that left hand to the front, strong through your fingertips, come right back up. 2. Reach through that. 3. We're just going to do 5 of these. 4. We're always maintaining space. We don't have to use the measuring sticks all the time. And 5. Now take a look down at your big toe right now. And if it's not on the ground, I want you to drive it into the ground. Okay? Come right back out of that. Let's hit the other side. From right there, decompress with a big breath. Drive the hips to the back. Toes stay on the ground. Right hand reaches through that high hamstring. Come right back out. Drive the hips back. 2. 3. 4. And 5. So you should feel how that right shoulder relates to that left hip through that. Let's do each side one more time. Left knee's down, right knee's up, left hand is going to reach. Hips drive to the back, hand to the front. Reach through your fingertips, create as much space as you can. See if you can get a little further this time. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Toes should remain on the ground. Other side. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I like to listen to music when I do stuff too. So as you get more proficient with these movements, it'd be beautiful if you could have some nice, gentle music in the background. Don't put on heavy stuff unless that relaxes you, but I think it's scientifically proven not to. 1. Just nice, something that relaxes you a little bit. 2. 3. 4. And 1 more. 5. Okay, good. Let's take that mat. You don't have to move it, I do. Okay, so now let's go 2 times shoulder width. So a pretty wide stance. And from right here, Again, we take measuring sticks. Let's just take 2 big breaths. Get that rib cage big again. Drop the hips to the back just a little bit. This position right here is called long wing. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Hips are to the back. We're just scooping the hands to the front. This is a very gentle founder. Elbows are low, shoulders are low. Hands are about chin height. My heels are pretty loaded up, but my toes are on the ground. Come right back out of that. We're just gonna do 5 of those. And when you come back up to the front, you can let your hips come a little bit past the midline if you want. Scoop from the bottom. 2. Come right back out of it. 3. Good. Keep those feet squared up. Toes should be in. 4. And 1 more. And 5. Okay. From right there, let's keep the hips back to the back just a little bit. Put your hands on your hips. We're going to move as one piece. So if your shoulders and your hips are a box, we're just going to rotate so the upper body doesn't keep rotating. As soon as the hip stops, the shoulders stop. Come back to the middle. It's all hip rotation. 2, 3, don't force anything, just take what your body will give you. 4, keep driving your hips to the back. 5, we're gonna go 10 total here. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, let's get out of that, shake that out just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna change my position of my mat. We're gonna go into a woodpecker. So in a woodpecker, this is a short stride right here. That's a long stride. Just kind of meet me in the middle, okay? So it's a relatively comfortable split stance. Square off your feet. Same rule applies. Back foot cannot be here, okay? So from right there, first thing we're going to start with a lunge decompression breathing. So the weight distribution here, 50-50. Take a nice big breath. You're going to float the hands to the height of the heart. And on your next exhale, we're going to take that up nice and high. Long through your lats, really reach high. I tend to scoot forward a little bit, so really make sure you're 50-50. Float the hands back to the heart, and then back, shake that out. Same thing other side. So when we set it up, square up the outsides of the feet. Nice big breath, 50-50 weight distribution. Make sure you got just as much on the back foot. Float the hands to the heart. From right there, next big inhale. Let's elevate the hands to the height of the forehead. So you don't want to be going back. I don't want you to reach backwards. 50-50. One more big breath. Bring the hands down. Shake that out. Okay, so accounting for the fact that the psoas attaches up here behind your ribs, or sometimes maybe a little bit lower, we're all a little different. But now we're going to go right leg in front of left. And we're going to work a little bit of rotation at the top of that breath. Okay, so square up the outsides of the feet. 50-50 weight distribution. Big breath, decompress. Float your hands to the heart. You're going to come up, but we're also going to rotate. You're moving as one piece into your right side, rotating around your right side. Take 3 big breaths here. You take the rotation out, take it back to your heart, come back to the middle. Square the feet up just a little bit. Nice big breath. 50-50 weight distribution. Float your hands to the heart. Big breath. Next breath. We're just coming up and rotating. Really reach high. Keep your head in a great spot. Don't be looking up. Don't be looking down. Great. Eyes on the horizon. And take the rotation out. Float the hands to the heart. Shake that out. Okay. Into a woodpecker reach. Then we're going to go into woodpecker rotation. Square up the feet. Now, when we do a woodpecker, it's a little different. We can have more weight on the front leg. So let's go into 60 to 70% of our load on the front leg. Keep the back foot squared up. Don't let it start creeping open. Remember, our strength is here. We want to be in, okay? So we're going to work an anchor in. So right leg's in front. We're going to fire that adductor to make sure it doesn't get sloppy and fall out, okay? Decompress. Float the hands to the heart. From right there, you're going to reach forward like you're looking over a cliff. Tuck your chin just a little bit. You should feel a lot of tension in your right leg right now. Push in on your big toe on your right foot and anchor in on your right foot. Come back into long wing. We're going to change sides. Square up your outside of your feet. Decompress. Float your hands to the heart. Load up the lead leg. 60%. Look over the cliff. So you load that leg up just a little bit. Make sure that lead leg is not locked. Anchor in with your left foot, left leg, and push into your big toe on your left. Unload that. Come right back out of it. Shake that out. So when we go into woodpecker, we're really using it to apply force and tension in that lead leg. Okay, square up the feet. You're in a nice comfortable length in your stride. These hips are not open. They're straight ahead. Take a big breath, decompress. Hips drive to the back, hands float to the front. Just a little bit. From right there, look over the cliff. Load up the right leg. Now take your hands back into short wing, so your thumbs must touch your shoulder if you can get there. And all I want you to do is bow 8 times. Keep into your big toe. 2, big toe on your right leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stay in that hamstring. 1 more. 8. Come back up. Come into long wing. Come back out of it. Change sides. Square up the outsides of the feet. Decompress. Load up the lead leg. Scoop forward. Hands to the height of the heart. Reach over the cliff. Load up that lead leg just a little bit more. Chin back, chest up. From right there, hold that reach. Press into your big toe on your left leg. Come into short wing. Hold strong. We got 8 reps. 8 bows. 3. Keep breathing. Keep decompressing. 5, don't get small. 6, 7, squeeze your shoulder blades. 8, long wing, come back out of that, shake that out. Okay, we're going back into the right leg in front, staying with the woodpecker. We're gonna bring this into a hip rotation. Okay, strong position, decompress, feet are squared up. Float your hands to the heart. Look a little bit forward, over to the cliff. From right there, you should load up your right big toe. Come into short wing. From right there, let's go 3 bows. 1, load that big toe every time. 2, 3, come back out of it just a little bit. Keep the tension on the right leg, hands on your hips. We're gonna anchor in with the right side as we bring the left side across. 1, anchor in on the right, rotate across with the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more. 7, right leg is just a freaking pillar. 8, I fell out of it, just shake it out. So that right leg is just boom, strong into the ground. Okay, same thing other side. We're gonna go left side in front, square up the bottom of the feet. Nice big breath to decompress. Load the hands to the front, to the heart. Reach forward just a little bit to load up the forefoot on the left leg. Load up that left big toe from right there. Come into short wing. Squeeze the shoulder blades, open the clavicles. Stay open here. 3 reps, just nice easy bounce. 1, 2, 3. Come part way out of that. Keep the tension on if you can. Heel is on the ground on your left side. Hands on your hips, but lightly. We're gonna just anchor in on this left side, rotate around it with the right hip. 1, 2, 3. Anchor in with your left. 4. Your big toe should have incredible amount of pressure on it. 5. Push. 6. 7. And 8. All right, shake that out. I kind of fell out of both of those, sorry. Just shake that out nice and wide. Okay, so you might need a prop for this next one. So you can use a foam roller or you can use a yoga block. I'm gonna go ahead and use my foam roller. I can do this without a prop, but let's do the first round for everybody with a prop. Okay, so you can use a chair, you can use a foam roller, you could use a table, you could use a box, you can use anything, but don't force your hips into their hinge. Don't force anything, because we want, if you look at my back here, this is a hip hinge. This is spinal flexion. So we want hip hinge. So that means we gotta be able to drive those hips back and work that beautiful joint the way it was designed, okay? So we're gonna go 2 times shoulder width. Put that prop out in front of you, about 2 feet in front of you, because I want you to have to reach for it. So the hips are gonna drive to the back and the hands reach to the front and just come right back out of that, okay? We'll just do a couple of those. Hips to the back, load up the heels, hands to the front, hips come back. If that lights up your hamstrings, you're right where you should be, okay? So let's go again. And one more. Got it? Okay. So let's take this from a wide founder. Square up the outsides of your feet. Drop your hips to the back just a little bit. You can use measuring sticks to create space. Don't lose this space. Scoop your hands to the front. This is a very gentle founder. Toes are on the ground, nice and strong. Hands at your chin height. We're going to tip forward. Drive your hips back. Get to your prop. My hamstrings from right there are on fire. From right there, let's go ahead and drop your head. You can now flex your spine. Keep your arms long. 2 big breaths here. Toes are quiet and on the ground. From there, lift your head. Bring your hands back to your shins. Come up to your knees. Come all the way back up. Okay? So we're going to go, we basically call this a founder into a forward fold. When you fold forward, we take it in pieces, and there is a place and a time when your spine is flexing. Okay? So it's okay. From right there. Okay? Let's start with a big breath. Pinkies on the hip bones, thumbs on the bottom rib, elbows floating out to the side. Drive the hips to the back, float the hands to the heart. Get comfortable here. Drive your hips back just a little bit further. Load up those heels. Keep your toes light on the ground. From right there, we're just going to forward fold to our prop. From right there, drop your head, drop your hip, drop into your heels. Keep your arms long. Should not have any weight on the prop. You're just using it as a measuring place. Lift your head. Bring your hands back to your shins, back to your knees, come all the way back up. Okay, so we're going to still use the prop. We're going to use the rotation that we were in a little bit early. We're going to go from a founder into forward fold, and then we're going to work into a windmill, and we will use arm tracing to get us there. So we'll just drive the thumb across the body, reach back with the arms, and you can even see, you can do a windmill even from a standing position. Everything has to move from your hips, okay? So from right there, let's start with a big breath. Come into long wing, hips to the back, load up the heels, float the hands to the front, to the height of the heart. From right there, we drop forward onto the foam roller. Keep the tension in the body. From right there, we're gonna rotate to the right, around the right femur. Arm trace, and look up at the arm. Arm trace down, comes back. Left arm, we're rotating the hip. The right hip is coming across the left. The arm trace up. Through that position right there, guys, you should feel your right adductor, right inner thigh. Come one more time. Windmill up. Come back down. Drive your hips to the back. Windmill across. All the way back up. Come back down. Bring your hands to your shins, up to your quads, and all the way back up. And shake that out. Okay, good job. All right, let's take it down onto the ground again. Last thing we're gonna do today. And we're gonna just take ourselves into a prone position. So hats off. And we're gonna work that anchored position. So you're gonna have your knees together, toes together. But if you just wanna take a peek before if you haven't done this one yet, you're gonna lay on your stomach, knees together, toes together, but your heels are apart. Thumbs and fingers are in a nice strong position. Forehead down on the ground. And we just breathe. See if you can walk your hands even a little bit further. Keep your strong anchor, squeeze your knees together. Let's go ahead and take your hands right underneath your shoulders. Press straight up. And just sit back into that child's pose. Nice big stretch. All right. So that was a pretty gentle foundation class. They all have their place. That will set you up for success with your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest. So hopefully that wasn't too stressful. If you put too much stress into that, don't do that next time. It all has a place.
Boom.
How long was that?
27 minutes.
That's good. Yay. In that meeting. Turn that up.